My dream is to become a captain like Bumbi, marry a woman who paints her arms with henna, and have 2 children who will also be captains like Bumbi and like me. And always live here on Lamu. That's my dream.
In South Africa, it is estimated that there are 4.5 million people suffering from AIDS. One of the consequences of this are the thousands of orphans who roam the streets of big cities like Cape Town. Johnny Franz is one of these children. He is originally from a rural area in the country's central region. His parents emigrated to the city. Shortly afterwards, his mother died of AIDS and his father abandoned him. He doesn't have any family to turn to. Barbara Peterson is the only person who looks out for him.
I've been doing this project for 12 years, feeding homeless and hungry children in town and in the townships as well. Because there was a time when I was in the same position, and when I got on my feet again, I decided that is what I want to do too, because I knew what it's like being on the streets, being hungry, going out food. Most of them come from the townships. Most of them, this one comes from Nitre. And he's actually out of school because he hasn't got school funds. So now we've got ladies also busy doing that, getting the government, to sponsor them with the school fees so that, because they do want to go to school. But then there's no funds, there's no uniform, and if they don't know that, they can't eat to school.
Thank you for the food.
It's not the tennis, but I do talk a lot with them. I talk to them, I speak to them about what it does to them. But sometimes I do like that when I know when they become sick and they can't get to hospital, then I offer to take them.
Where in Europe?
Austria.
Austria.
I will give you. That is symbolic of Klagenfurt.
Oh.
The dragon. Okay. Have a good time.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao.
Because I like feeding the children, I feel very good, doing that, knowing that I can help, these kids.
I know a little bit about apartheid, yeah.
I know very little about apartheid. I don't think I was born yet. I've heard my mother and father say that the whites made them sit in the back of the bus while they rode in front. I know that whites and blacks weren't together. We were separate. They were the upper class, and we were the lower class. That's all I know.
Tusil Tenya had in fact been born when apartheid was abolished in 1994, but he was only 2. In the time which has passed since then, many things have changed in South Africa. Tusil is part of the Dance for All project, an initiative which has brought dance to the poor areas of Cape Town.
I was a principal dancer with Cape Ballet Company, now Cape Town City Ballet, for about 15, 16 years, and I've always loved children, and I thought it would be a wonderful way of going to an underprivileged area and giving children a chance to dance, like I had. They had nothing, and in the townships there is nothing. There are no toys, there's very little food, a lot of the kids don't have clothes, and most of their parents are domestic servants, some of them are alcoholics. There is a lot of social problems in the township, drugs, drink, a lot of child abuse, with either hitting kids, child abuse, sexual abuse.
Nyanga is just one of the many slum areas which surround Cape Town. During the years of apartheid, these townships, like Soweto and Johannesburg, were where the black population was confined to live. When evening came, the blacks had to leave the areas reserved for the whites and return to their homes. Education and quality public services were a privilege of the whites. Things are changing. In the almost 10 years since the abolition of apartheid and the arrival of democracy to South Africa, areas like Nyanga have undergone a positive transformation. But even today, Nyanga is a contrast from the city center. Cape Town is the most hedonistic modern city in Africa. Its architectural layout and taste merit the highest praise. This is a city whose average standard of living is of the highest quality.
Dance
has done a lot for me. My friends are also dance schoolmates. But there are many other kids who spend their time stealing and fighting amongst themselves. Dance has given me discipline and protects me from harm.
Yes, things have changed. They haven't changed quick enough, as I think a lot of us that live here realize. But when I drive around the streets, I do see there are improvements. But yes, things have changed. There was a lot of violence, and in fact, I had a gun put to my head many years ago when I was taking children to the theatre in town, and I was taking them back home to Kailicha, and 5 youths came up to me and put a gun to my head. And I just thought, well, there's nothing I can do. What am I going to do? I've just got to be calm. And I was calm. And these guys, they looked in the vehicle that I was driving, they saw these little black faces, and they put their revolver back in their pocket or whatever it was, and off they went.
In spite of the changes, close to 40% of the black population of Cape Town is still unemployed. Violence is a constant in townships like Nyanga.